everyone, I'm just doing a test video to make sure it's working. We'll just let this sit here for a couple of minutes, wait for people. Hello, someone just joined in. Goodo. Alright, we'll just keep going and hopefully that message from the other day doesn't pop up telling me that I have low connectivity. I think updating my Facebook app helped that. Hi Margie. Margie is watching and I can't read the other one. Brenda. Hi Brenda. Okay, well it looks like updating my Facebook app fixed that problem that I was having, so that's good. How is everybody? Oh, hello from Minnesota, USA. What time is it there? Well, I have no idea what time it is on the other side of the world. I know it's midnight in the UK when it's 11 AM here. So what time is it over there in Minnesota? Alright, we seem to be functioning well. I'm not getting that horrible message from the other day. We'll just wait, because I'm a little bit earlier because I wanted to test it. We'll just wait a little bit longer for everyone else to catch up. I think I've got about 285 members in my little Get Crafty with Gail group now. It's 7 PM in Maryland. Well, that's a good time for you, is it, Dawn? That's good. Hi, Fran. Hi, Christine from Massachusetts. It's 7 PM there. That's good. Tammy, I can't... Oh, my glasses up. Oh, my glasses are filthy. Hang on, I'm going to play them. That's why I can't read anything, because my glasses were filthy. Alright. Just wait a few more minutes. Alright. Okay, it's the right orientation. It's horizontal or landscape. Cleaning my glasses, and we'll get started when I can see. Alright, okay, well it's 11 AM here on a Sunday in the east coast of Australia. I'm about 3.5 hours north of Sydney, if you know where Sydney is. It's a beautiful spring day. I'm on a lake and I can see all these people out there fishing and swimming and kids playing, so it's a beautiful day today. So, bit different from this time last year when we were covered in bushfires and smoke, so it's really good. Okay, Indiana. What time is it in Indiana? Alright, let's begin. Alright, this week's challenge, majority won out was the Daisy Lane stamp set. I never really liked this step. I still really don't. I like the fern. I don't like these. I don't know why. I don't like those and I don't like that. But anyway, I managed to use it and I was pretty happy with what I came up with. The image that I shared was black and white, which was funny because someone said, oh, I don't know about grey cards, but they're not grey cards. I just didn't want to... I wanted to surprise you with what we were doing. That's all part of the fun of what I'm doing. So when I do post the images for the next challenge, they will be in black and white, just so that you know. Alright, Daisy Lane, we got the, I think that was the medium Daisy Punch, and that was just the normal Daisy Punch. So we will get started. I have a beginner's, a casual and an avid. So we'll just step them up each time. So we shall begin. Alright, I don't need these because I've pre-prepared everything. So we shall get started. How high up am I? We're going to be able to see. Oh, alright. Okay, I have used two colours. They were just two random colours that I grabbed. And I'm going to start with the beginner card. Ta-da! Alright, beginner card, very simple. I've just used the stem, the flowers and the greeting. I won't redo that because I think that's fairly easy for you to understand how I did that. I just stamped the main flowers first. And then I didn't re-ink and I just used what was left over because that new Magenta Madness, the two colours that I used was Magenta Madness and Just Jade. They were just two random colours that I grabbed. Being brand new, they're very, very juicy ink pads, and that's a very bright colour as well. So I just used what ink was left on the stamp, and I just added a few more because I thought one just looked a bit silly just sitting there. So that was the first one, and that's a beginner's card, and that's just basically on a piece of, I don't know if it's still in there, here it is, just on a piece of Whisper White. So that was easy, and I stamped the flowers, and then I stamped the stems. So that was that one. I added these enamel dots, which I know we've had a lot of problems with them. The clear, I think they're a sticker, and then there's a clear enamel dot on the top, and I forgot, I had them put away so I wouldn't use them, and I grabbed them because it was the right colour, and then of course I had to glue the enamel part onto the little sticker underneath. So they were the dots that I used, and I just stamped the little smile. I got glue everywhere from when I tried to glue that on. Then I woke up this morning and I had a different idea, so I've just done a second one this morning using, I just thought it was a bit plain, so I used the same images, and I've just stamped the card base behind with the fern. So I think they're simple enough for a beginner. If you don't like the colours, it's two colours. Just change them to the colours that you like, or do different colours. But I just thought that just looked, see the difference in those? That's very, very plain. There's a lot of white on it and a grubby fingerprint. And just by adding, and that was second and third generation stamping. I didn't do the full green. I just sort of tried to lighten it. You could probably use another colour, but I didn't want to incorporate a third colour into this project. Alright, so there's your beginner card. And two different variations. I think that's easy enough for a beginner. Alright, let's go to the next step. And we have the casual stamper. That was the reverse side of one of the Flowers for Every Season designer series paper. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just grabbing things and throwing things on there. So this was all just came together. I didn't even realise I had that until I went looking for some paper and I went, oh, it's the right colour, because that's Just Jade. Alright, so for this one, I only have a few pieces. So I didn't have any of that left, so it's still the Just Jade. And where's my card base? Oh, I haven't got a card base. That's all right. Okay, we don't need that because I'll just stick it on the other side. So this is for a casual stamper. I've added a couple of die cuts, and the extra die cuts came from the two leaves out of the boho indigo dies, which was part of that product medley. And I just thought they'd look really nice because they went with the fern leaves, and I just die cut a couple of those in Just Jade. So if you can see those, I love those leaves. So I've just added those. I did cheat. I cut all my leaves and my flowers. I used a scan and cut because I was doing quite a lot of them. So these are all scan and cut leaves and scan and cut little flowers. So I've already done that. You could fussy cut those because they wouldn't be that hard. But because I was doing so many, it was easy just to use the scan and cut, which I don't use as often as I should because it's a pain in the butt to get it out. Alright, the next thing I did was I cut one of those nested dies. Let me see, I'm going to check my notes. Stitch nested labels they are. So then that went up there, and I'm going to attach that. I sort of went about where I thought it would go. I always use my grid paper to line things up. That's what it's there for. About halfway. Oh, I forgot the stamping. I did do a little background stamping on that. I wonder if I'm going to be able to do it while it's stuck on there. We'll do this very carefully. I'm ahead of myself. Alright, so I did I didn't do it very dark. I'm just going to put that there. This is all the tricks that I do. Right, and there was just a little bit of background stamping there, so it's light. Alright, there's always a way to fix something. Alright, then I put one little flower down the bottom, and I absolutely love, where are they? I absolutely love those many messages. I've die cut them a couple of times, so now I have a whole container all full of all the die cut many messages. If you didn't see my note from the day before, my video, oh no, it was a photo. The die is one whole sheet, so you can just stamp it once, and I use the Stamparatus. And the trick was, when you go to die cut, see the little heart and the star and the star and that little star. You line up the die with those. Don't try and line up with the text. If you line the die up with those 4 little images, it cuts out perfectly. So, yeah, so don't try and, work out lining up with all the text. Just use those 4 little, and that could be why they put those on there, to make it easier to line it up. So, whoops. Yeah, so these little ones and this one, they all came out of that set. Alright, I'm going to pop that one down there. So that one just went down the bottom. That one I added a dimensional. And pop a dimensional on there. So that just went across. Obviously I'll put more dimensionals if I'm just doing it very quickly. And then up the top, I grabbed my 2 fern leaves that I scan and cut. And I realised I've had my scan and cut for, I got one of the original ones that was, we went away up to Queensland, and it was before my 50th birthday, and I won $9,500 at a club up there on a poker machine. It was a random thing that my husband's mother and I we just sat down, and in 5 spins I'd won $9,500, and all I could think of was, I'm going to get that scan and cut. And I'm now nearly 56, so my scan and cut's over 5 years old, so that's how I knew how old that was. But that's all I could think of when I won the money, was, oh good, I can get that, because they were very expensive. Alright, we're just going to whack a leaf there, whack a leaf there. Alright, flower, the daisy, I've just punched it out of Magenta Madness, just a little bit in the middle. Layer it, another little dab, doesn't need much. Alright, whoop, tried to pick up too soon, there's probably a bit of glue under there. Alright, and then I always put it in the palm of my hand, and I've got this paper piercer, it's got a nice round end, and that's what I use to pop up the flower. Alright, so then that went there. My little bits of die cut, the stems are a bit long, don't be afraid to snip them off. And that one. And they just went underneath. My scan and cut stem. Oh, that's a bit bigger than that one, so that's alright, we'll just do it on the side. And 2 more flowers, so one went up there. Alright, so we'll put that one on first. Is there a right way up? Yeah, that way. Alright, so one went down. I always do one flat and raise one if I'm doing several flowers. Now that one's got a dimensional on it. And about there. The little bits of greenery, the die cuts, just a little bit of glue. I don't ever glue the top bit, I just let them float on the card. Where'd the other one go? There it is. A little bit of glue. While it's still wet, you can manipulate them a bit. Alright, flour. A big glob of glue for that one. Flour. And just hold that there. Alright, and I don't know where I had those out somewhere. Oh, well, they're not there. Just anything in the centre. That's just a white enamel dot that I've coloured with one of the yellow blends. I think it was a crushed curry or something. I've coloured that. Alright, so we'll just put the stem. We could even chop a bit of that off. Let's chop a little bit of that off. There we go, make it a bit smaller. Maybe try and stick it under there. Well, that works. Alright, I don't know where those white gems went. I thought I had them on the table here somewhere. Alright, so there's that. And then when that's dry, making sure, I just flipped it over and trim the top of that off. And there's that one without the white enamel dot in the middle. Oh, I don't know where that went. Oh, it's one of these. I think it's old. I think it's one of the retired items. I just grabbed a big one. I probably should have coloured it first. Or you can leave it as white. And there's that one. And then just mount it on 5.5 by 4.25 inch card. So that's our second one, and that's our casual card. Oh, and I've added a few little rhinestones in there. Alright, so we've stepped it up from the first one. We haven't added too much. There's no embossing or, you know, gold heat embossing or anything on it. It's just adding a few little bits, and it stepped it up from that to that and that. Alright, so you can see it's gradually, we're just adding a little bit more, which is that one. We'll put that one there. There we go. There's no ribbon, twine, there's nothing else on that one. Okay, so that's the second one. Now we'll go to the tricky one. This is going to take a bit of work. Of course it does, because when I do these, I make so much work for myself. Alright, next one. You ready? This one is our Avid card. Ta-da! There's a little bit more work in this one. 2 different layers of gold thread, multi-layered flower, a daisy. Still using the same base product, so we're still using the 2 dies and the 2 leaves and the little flowers. Another one of those sentiments from that many messages, or what was it called? Yeah, many messages stamp, and some die cutting, cutting out the circles. I don't know if you can get a good look at that flower. So it's just stepped it up. So you're looking at going from that to that, just stepping it up, and it looks classy when you add the gold thread. So we'll work on that one now. Alright, first step is 2 sheets, white and the Just Jade, exactly the same size. We're going to use exactly the same size to die cut the circles. I don't know if you can see that, but there's actually 2 circles in there. Alright, so we've got the stitched shapes, the circles, the largest and the second largest one. So what we're going to do, we're going to die cut through both layers. We're going to die cut the smaller one. Alright, I will go and grab the big shot. Alright, I hope the table doesn't rock too much. Alright, so pop it on the big shot plate and make sure it's lined up equally. And we're just going to go through both layers, centrally on the card front. on the matte piece. Oh, I might go back. Whoops. Whoops, sorry, table shaken. Alright. Move that to the side. Now, because you're going through 2 layers, you do tend to get a bit of buckling on the paper, on the cardstock, and that's why I then, if it looks a bit questionable because it's got some etching from the plate, I'll then emboss it so it covers it up. Alright, so we've die cut the small one. So what we're then going to do, so that's our bottom layer, so then we're going to layer the larger one over that one, and I should have, bring the big shot back in again, try not rock it, and put the bigger one on, and I can't quite see because I'm not directly over it. Wrap that one through. I'm going slow because I'm trying not to rock the table. And it looks like my camera's moved. I'll move it back. There we go. Alright. Take that away. Move all of that out of the camera. Move that. Move that. Alright. Alright, so we've got the card base, and the card base is just Whisper White, standard size. And then we have, now see how that's got a little bit yucky from going through the big shot the second time? That's when I'll emboss it. So bring the big shot back in again. Lift that up. Yeah, so that's how to cover up an oopsie, is just, because that's, I don't know if you can see it, but it looks a little bit crinkled around the edge, and I don't like that, so if you emboss it, it will cover it up. Oh, this is the last of my big shot artwork. Oh. Sorry, I'm trying not to shake the table. Alright, that's all done. Alright, so now you have a top piece that you can't tell that anything's wrong with it, because they're also going through the big shot, it flattens it, so takes out any wrinkles. Alright, so we have the bottom piece, and then, whoop, obviously I didn't do that essentially, and then that will be the one that goes directly over the top. Now, what I then like to do, you don't have to do this, I then just trim this down a little bit. So just take a little bit off each edge, just so it doesn't stick out. And it, like it, you know, if you don't line it up properly, it might stick out a bit. So I just trim. I think that's about 2 mil. It's just that second line on my trimmer. Alright, we just trimmed it a tiny bit. Alright, so we have that one. Alright, so now we don't have the worry that it might not line up properly. I'm actually going to use the reverse of that one. Alright, so the first layer that goes down is your Just Jade or whatever colour you choose to use. Not one to waste anything. I might as well use the other side of that one. Alright, so pop that down right in the middle. Alright, so that's the first one. And I put this one on, and then I add everything else to the top. But the first thing I did, this was tricky, I've got to tell you. This was one of the ones that, I can't even remember, Flowers for Every Season, or what's on my notes? It'll tell me. Forever Greenery and The Wonder of the Season trim. These were the 2 gold ones that were there were 2 ribbons in both. 1 thread and 1 ribbon. And I just thought, I love both of them and I couldn't decide. So I used them both, and it was very tricky, I can tell you. Alright. Alright. So I just wrap them around the side as best as I could. Oh, I don't think that worked. Oh, that worked. Oh, good. Look at that. I did that better on camera than I did yesterday. Probably because I'd already done it. Alright, now remember I said the other day when you're playing with thread, when you're using thread, don't play with it too much. This was the hard bit, getting the rest of the bow through. Oh, bear with me. Hey, look at that. Oh, I'm not going to play with it anymore. I'll just pop a glue dot under that to hold it in place. Glue dots, where are they? There they are. Oh, try and slip it under without it all coming apart. Ta-da! Alright, I've got the bow done. So that's the right way. Yep. Alright, then I just whacked a whole heap of dimensionals on this. I won't go and put as many as I normally do, otherwise we'll be here all day. One there, and one just there. Right, anybody getting anything out of this? Any tips, or is this helpful? Is this fun? The idea was supposed to be fun and interactive. Alright, let's have a look. Alright, bring the card back. I'm going to stick my head in here just for a sec to line it up. Alright, not quite centered, but almost there. Alright, next, let's have a look. Alright, so pre-stamped and pre-punched. So we've got 2 layers of the larger daisy, 2 layers of the smaller daisy. That one goes up there, and I just grabbed a happy anniversary. The leaves are going to go in there, same as the other card. Whack them on there. Alright, flower. What I have used, I think I've actually done 1, 2, yeah, I think I've done 4 layers. So we have 2 large, 2 small, and I've actually used the flower centers from our Magnolia memory dies. I've used the little flower centers, and I've done 2 of each size, and I used So Saffron. Alright, let's put the flower together. Alright, I just glue it all in one go. Alright, alternate. Can't go fast when you're using glue. Alright, so the flower's done. Then I did 2 large and 2 small of the flower centre. That will go a little bit there, there. Oh, look, I must have a bit of glue under my nail. This is sticking. Alright, this is another reason why I use tweezers. Alright, 1 layer. Alternate. Oh, can't get it to alternate. There we go. love making flowers. Alright, so that doesn't look much just by all laying flat. Alright, then I grab the bone folder and I just turned under the bottom layer, hoping not to move that while it's still wet. Alright, use the paper pierce again to push it in, and then I grabbed all those little stamens and I flipped them up. Obviously when it was dry, I haven't got time to wait for this to dry. And there you have your little flower. And on that one, I used the gilded gems. And I think I put, I'm not sure what size, might have been a medium one. I put a nice gilded gem in the middle so that the gold coordinated with the thread. And then that little flower goes on there. Alright, so just add nothing was mounted, I don't think. Oh yeah, I did too. I added a dimensional. There you go. I only made them yesterday and I already forgot what I did. Alright, so one dimensional there, because we have got a bit of a hole in there. Just one dimensional was all I put on there. Another dimensional. Alright, so that'll sit in there and that'll lay flat on the top. The flower had a dimensional. I'm going to be very careful because that's still wet. Get off. Oh goodness. It's not where I want it. Oh, well, it's going to stay there now. Once again, the little die cuts I just snipped a bit off. Added a bit of glue. And the last one, I'm going to pop that under there. Alright, the last thing is the last flower, which I just used a bit of glue. Might put over there. Oops. A little bit of glue. And like I said, I just grabbed that one. And I'm just going to whack a bit of glue on that. Go, whoops. Oh, the glue's all slippery because it's still wet. And that's it. Add a few more gilded gems. Just added a couple of extra ones. And that's our last card. Right, what do you think of that? Alright, I love that flower. It looks really pretty. Alright, so let's see all three of them together. And I think alright, so I can't use that one again because I've used the other side. Alright, let's have a look. Alright, we've got casual, which is the one I just did. That's the one I just did. That's my original. And I didn't do that one. Alright, see how we just stepped it up just slightly, adding a few more fiddly things, which an avid crafter would deal with. And this thread, I love this thread because if you can pull it apart, I love it. I love that thread. Can't quite get can't get the paper piercer in there. Alright, so that's this week's challenge that I gave myself. I'm enjoying doing these and sharing them with you. So, I think next week you can tell me what you want. If there's anything that you'd like me to demonstrate, a technique maybe, rather than just a stamp set, maybe some technique, I can do that. I don't really have anything else to show you today. We've gone through everything. Hope you enjoyed this. That's it for today. Alright, I'll talk to you guys next time, and I hope you enjoyed this. Talk to you soon. Bye.